idea is foolish. Anybody is allowed to talk. So, gather all the data, suggestions and pick out the best ones and then get about it, activate it. Now, for instance, now there are a lot of very easy, simple techniques. Now, most of you would have heard of a thing called the Deming cycle. Deming is Professor Deming, his name is given because Professor Deming is the one who designed it. It's just 4 quadrants. First quadrant is a circle. You start a project here. Now, what is the project? Even making a cup of tea, a 15 minutes project.
So, we are illustrating the Deming cycle.
Exactly.
So, I think we need to take a break because we are asked to take a break to illustrate on the Deming cycle further. So, stay with us. We will be back with you soon.
ෆෝන් එකේ සල්ලි නැත්නම් උඩ බලන් ඉන්න එපා. #247# අමතා ස්මාර්ට් ලෝන් එකක් ගන්න.
Sri Lanka Telecom Mobitel. We care always.
This special program is going to be a platform for health, diseases and things which are related to day-to-day life.
Catch you live in action on Prime TV with a blend of music filled with variety. Rock and roll, country and western,
It must be love. It must be love.
you name it, we have it. Music with bevel.
Welcome back. You're watching Roundtable and today we have with us consultant social and environmental management and he's Mr. Ravi De Silva. And yes, as I told you before, it's a square table today because it's an elections night and the studios are very busy. So with Mr. De Silva, we were talking about walking the talk. So I will actually urge the audience to attentively listen to this because when we say environment, it's something that is not out there. It is something we can identify and actually do something about it. So he was going to illustrate the Deming cycle. So over to you, Mr. De Silva.
Yeah. Now for instance, the Deming cycle is a technique, is a tool that we make use of, and it's a very simple tool which everybody can make use of, especially if you are going in for not only for environment management system, any management system. The first quadrant is plan, next is do, next is check, the other one is act. So PDCA cycle. Now whatever you do, now we are talking programs, right? Now whatever we do, we have to first plan out. If you don't plan out, you are not going to succeed, right? Then the next one is implement it, put it into action, walk in the talk, as you say, right? Okay. Then you check. Where there's a saying, no, nothing checked is anything that is not checked is not done, which is to a great extent true. So you monitor it. You have your audits and internal audits and various other monitoring systems, and then you find, obviously you find you have worked out your plan, you have planned out your work, and now you are working out your plan. But then you find there are certain lapses, differences, changes. What you do is now identify those and take corrective action, and your project is completed, whether it's a short one or a long one. So that's how it now you see.
#151# අමතන්න. Mobitel Smart Recharge Bonanza.
Programs by getting everybody involved, and now it's total commitment. Now see the results. Now for instance, if I take an example, there's a hotel called Tea Factory high up in Kandapola, which is the highest hotel in Sri Lanka, probably the highest hotel in the world, say, because of that size. You see, it was not a hotel, it was tea factory. You see, so it has built to make use of the shell, and then to introduce people to what the colonial heritage was. So they had got some awards on that too, because they had preserved the what you call the heritage, right? Now, they have, for instance, say that see one or two measures that they have done, they have taken. Now, they have replaced their halogen bulbs with CFLs. This is a simple thing that you can do. No, it's a technological investment, it's a technological change, you know, it involves a little investment, but there are certain very simple things like switching off policy, which does not involve any investment, right. I can remember when we introduced switching off policy in Kandalam in 1996, for a month we saved 65,000 rupees purely by switching off. You see,
so it's a small act, but the saving is so
that's
much.
right. But there are common sense solutions as well as technological. Now, this technological thing, you replace the 50-watt halogens with 11-watt CFLs, and what do they save? 72,000 kilowatt hours per annum, right. Then what do? They use maximum use of daylight and replace electric light. I am talking of the tea factory at Kandapala, and they save 2,300 kilowatt hours. Then they do a major project of using biomass to boil water without diesel, and they what do they save? They save 84,000 liters of diesel annually, and they are saving 2,500 tons of carbon dioxide, which they would have otherwise emitted.
This happens in the Kandapala tea factory.
Yes. Now, see, I am just giving this as an example.
As
I can
a best
give
practice.
exactly as a best practice. Now, this is why a good question that you asked. You said everybody talks about the gloomy situation, but there are a lot of good practices. Like I just gave you just one example. Kandalama, there are so many, and there are so many other places. Not only in the hotel industry, but in other places. Now you see the green buildings coming up now, right? Now, by the way, Kandalam was the first green building certified in 1990 in 2002. So, like that, there are so many practices, and what we want is people to replicate. We want to share the knowledge. We have to network. Where the environment is everybody's business, not yours and mine only, right? And what I am trying to illustrate here is that there are small actions that people can do wherever you are, whatever you are, to have a good impact, beneficial impact on the environment, or to mitigate some of those bad impacts. You see?
So basically, we have to bring it down to the level that there is something that we are stakeholders.
Exactly. There is something for everybody to do.
So the same Deming cycle and what you said, can we just illustrate using a simple example? For example, Mr. De Silva say throwing waste, like you have eaten a plantain and then that or anything. So how can you now, that is something you and I and everyone do. So that is a very practical example. So how can you apply this what you said to such a trivial example?
Yeah, good. You touch on a soft spot, I would say. In fact, solid waste and liquid waste, if you look at it, right? You get wastewater and other things, and you get the solid waste. We talk of the solid waste. There is a famous principle called the 3R principle, which was adopted at the Earth Summit in 1992 under Agenda 21. Okay. Now, what is that? Reduce, reuse, recycle. Now, this is a principle which they adopted for all humanity, global. What do you reduce? What do you reuse? And what do you recycle? Natural resources. When you extract, you reduce, take the least, or reuse whatever is available and recycle what you can. Then after using, when you dispose the least, reduce. Then without disposing, you reuse it, and then whatever you can. Now, even a piece of even a bottle is broken, you would convert that into glass again, recycle. Okay. Now, I have introduced a thing called the 7R concept.
Okay.
I have done that. Yeah, that to our hotels as well as other hotels as well as chambers of industry and commerce through the FCCISL. They wanted me to introduce that to some of these regional ones, and many people are doing this very successfully. The 7Rs are: first is reject. You do away with the idea completely. Now, you take an example of a Japanese community wanting to meet somewhere, they have no chairs, and Japan doesn't have any resources to make chairs. No wood, no steel, no aluminium. What do? They put carpets and sit on the floor. Reject. You see, so now see how they have reduced the impact on the environment. Otherwise, how much of resources would have gone to make those chairs? Then the next is reduce, reuse. Then next is reclaim. If you can't reuse the entire thing, you reclaim whatever possible from what you throw. Now, you are talking of waste, right? From what you throw. Then the next one is replace. You replace with something more environmentally friendly. Okay, now you go down to a top level, you say paperless office. These papers are trees, so you don't use papers, you communicate electronically. Or you, without using the polythene bags, you use a paper bag or a cloth bag or a fiber bag, or there are so many things made now. There are so many replacements now. Or without taking a 3-wheeler to go or a kilometer, you walk it. or you cycle it.